Welcome back. The World Bank has warned that developing nations should brace themselves for weak growth and tougher times. It said that there may be a long period of volatility in global economy as the Eurozone debt crisis escalates. The bank forecasts that developing economies will grow by 5.3% this year, down from 6.1% in 2011. It urged policymakers to take adequate long-term measures to ensure that they can sustain growth. The World Bank warning comes amid heightened fears about the Eurozone debt crisis spreading to the region's bigger economies such as Spain and Italy. The borrowing costs for these nations have risen significantly, raising concerns about their ability to repay their debts. And joining us now for more details on that story is our correspondent Sidhant. Sidhant, now, we know for a fact that the World Bank has asked the developing nations to brace themselves up for slower economic growth rate and also the ability to pay back debts. Do you think that report will be accepted well by a country like India? Because as I was speaking to one of our specialists just a while back, he said that these things don't work well for India completely.
Which was rejected by the finance ministry officials yesterday, saying that that report was not transparent. They said India will be the first angel to fall amongst the BRIC countries, and it was based on arbitrary process. But World Bank is kind of a respected organization, a multilateral organization whose India is a member with a good voting power of 8th ranking in it. Obviously, India will accept the report. In a sense, it will be another one of those bad reports blaming the Eurozone crisis, and the center of this report is the Eurozone crisis. The report says the Eurozone crisis is to be blamed, and this crisis could further swell into more bad crisis, and it could have a cascading effect. It also said that no developing region of the world will be spared if the crisis escalates. The report also pegs India's GDP at 6.9% for this financial year, but it sees the GDP getting better in a sense at 7.2% for the next fiscal year, and for the fiscal year 14 it sees a 7.4%. So it's a kind of positive news for India, but it says that China could slow down. China has seen a GDP of 8.1% in the first quarter of 2012, which was lowest in almost 3 years, and it sees that these developing countries, these emerging economies should instead of going on export orienting their economies are basically export based, they should push forward for more reforms on infrastructure sector.
Right. Sidhant, also tell us, with India being the global destination for FDIs and investments, you said, of course, that the impact will be there in India of the entire Eurozone crisis. But do you think we will be able to emerge well out of it, little stronger than other economies in Asia?
Well, actually, it's a question. It's a very difficult question because nobody knows what is the future course in the Eurozone. June 17, which is just this weekend, will be the most deciding factor in the entire year for the financial crisis, because on that day Greece will go on elections, and it will be the outcome will decide the course of the entire Eurozone and the entire global economy. And the center of it is basically two parties: the New Democracy Party, which is pro-austerity, and the anti-austerity party, which is Syriza's party. And in the last election, whose outcome was kind of a deadlock on the 6th May election, the Syriza's party, the leftist bloc, emerged as a second runner-up, which was quite shocking, because this party said that we will renegotiate the bailout terms of the Troika, and if it says for renegotiating, obviously Troika won't renegotiate the terms of the bailout. And we have seen that Spain is now the second problem in Eurozone. Spain got a $100 billion bailout package for its banks, and yesterday we saw Fitch downgrading many of its banks.
Right, Sidhant. So a close watch needs to be kept on the Eurozone, not just financially but also politically there. And of course, if India strengthens its fundamentals, impact might just be a little less. Thank you so much, Sidhant, for joining us with all those details from the newsroom.